Network risk management is crucial for protecting data, devices, and people. My name is Ron Darnell. In this presentation, we'll look at what network risk is, where it comes from, how to reduce people-related threats, the importance of security policies, device hardening, and physical security. First, let's define what network risk means. Network risk is the chance of losing data or having services disrupted because of weaknesses that attackers can exploit. The risk formula is simple. Risk equals threat times vulnerability times impact. For example, a hacker, the threat, finds an unprotected server, the vulnerability, and steals sensitive data, the impact. For example, unpatched systems enabled the WannaCry ransomware attack to spread quickly, locking files and demanding payment, resulting in worldwide disruption. Now that we know what risk is, let's look at where it comes from. Network risk can come from people, technology, malware, and bad actors. People make mistakes or fall for scams. Technology can be misconfigured or outdated. Malware can disrupt systems, and bad actors can intentionally attack networks. A real-world example is the 2017 Equifax breach, where a web application vulnerability was exploited, resulting in the exposure of personal data for over 140 million people. One key source of risk is from those actively trying to cause harm, bad actors. Bad actors target networks for profit, disruption, or espionage. They are individuals or groups that deliberately target networks. Their motivations vary. Some are black hat hackers seeking fame or challenge, like Kevin Mitnick, who was once considered the most wanted hacker in the world. Others are organized cybercriminal groups focused on financial gain through ransomware or data theft, like the REvil ransomware group. There are also hacktivists, such as the Anonymous Collective, who attack organizations to promote social or political causes. And then there are nation-state actors, who may launch cyber espionage or disruption campaigns. Bad actors are often highly skilled and persistent, and use multiple stages of attack to achieve their goals. But risks aren't only external. Human error inside organizations is significant too. Human mistakes and social engineering cause more than half of network breaches. Examples include phishing emails, baiting, tailgating, or someone watching you type a password. The 2016 DNC breach is a well-known case that started with a spear phishing email. This incident resulted in the unauthorized access and release of thousands of internal emails, affecting the U.S. political process and illustrating how a single successful social engineering attack can have far-reaching consequences. Studies show that more than 80% of breaches involve human error or manipulation. Next, let's take a look at social engineering. Social engineering exploits human behavior through multiple attack methods. Common types include phishing, which uses fraudulent emails to trick users, spear phishing, which is more targeted and customized, vishing, or voice-based scams, and smishing, which uses text messages. Pretexting involves creating a fabricated story to obtain information, while baiting uses infected USB devices or free downloads to lure users. Tailgating involves physically following someone into a restricted area, and quishing uses QR codes to redirect victims to malicious sites. Understanding these attack types is the first step in defending against them. Some risks even come from trusted insiders within the organization. Insider threats involve individuals within an organization who have legitimate access but misuse it. Malicious insiders might intentionally steal data, such as customer records or intellectual property, often for financial gain or revenge. Negligent insiders may accidentally expose information by mishandling credentials or misconfiguring systems. There are also compromised insiders, employees whose accounts or systems are taken over by attackers. An example of insider risk is the 2019 Capital One breach, which was linked to an employee who exploited cloud misconfigurations and exposed the personal data of over 100 million customers. So how do we reduce people risk? Well, let's look at solutions. We can reduce people risk through training, strong access control, and monitoring. Awareness training and phishing simulations can cut phishing success by 75%. Multi-factor authentication blocks 99.9% of account compromises. Insider activity monitoring can reduce incident cost by 32%. But technology itself can introduce vulnerabilities. Let's examine those. Technology vulnerabilities create pathways for attackers to disrupt services and steal data. Technology risks stem from flaws in hardware, software, and network configurations. Common attacks include denial of service, or DOS, and distributed denial of service, DDoS, attacks, which flood systems and cause services outages. There are man-in-the-middle attacks that intercept data during transmission, allowing attackers to steal sensitive information. DNS spoofing redirects users to malicious websites by tampering with DNS responses. Many of these attacks exploit unpatched vulnerabilities or weak configurations. For example, GitHub experienced one of the largest DDoS attacks in history in 2018, temporarily disrupting developer services worldwide. Addressing these risks requires regular patching, secure configurations, and robust monitoring. This table lists some technical vulnerabilities. The first 6 are variations of DOS or denial of service attacks. Starting with row 7, we see some others. An on-path attack, formerly known as man-in-the-middle, intercepts and manipulates communications between two parties, often redirecting users to malicious sites or stealing data. A deauth, or deauthentication attack, disconnects Wi-Fi clients by sending spoofed deauthentication frames, which disrupts wireless network access. Insecure protocols and services attacks exploit weaknesses in protocols to gain unauthorized access or spread malicious code. DNS poisoning alters DNS records to redirect users to malicious websites, potentially spreading across DNS servers globally. Backdoors are hidden software vulnerabilities or intentional access points that allow unauthorized entry into systems. Malware is one of the most common ways those vulnerabilities are exploited. Malware disrupts operations, steals data, and can hold systems hostage. Malware comes in many forms: viruses, trojans, worms, bots, and ransomware, each with its own way of causing damage and needing different defenses. In simple terms, malware is any malicious software built to disrupt, damage, or sneak into systems. Viruses attach to normal programs and spread when those programs run. Trojans pose as legitimate apps, but secretly open doors for attackers. Worms self-replicate and clog up networks. Bots can form botnets, armies of hijacked machines used for attacks or spam. And ransomware, it locks up your files and demands payment, usually in cryptocurrency, to release them. Modern malware has gotten sneaky. It hides, encrypts itself, constantly changes its signature, and can even wait to trigger at just the right moment. Reports from Kaspersky and SonicWall show malware attacks are climbing fast. IoT malware alone jumped over 350% in 1 year. A high-profile example was the 2022 ransomware attack on Costa Rica's government, which took down critical services and slowed for months and showed how disruptive ransomware can be. So how do we know what to protect first? That starts with assessing risk. Risk assessment identifies vulnerabilities, business impacts, and informs security priorities. A risk assessment is basically a structured way to find out where your systems and processes are vulnerable and which risks need attention right away. It looks at both technical issues and how threats affect your core business functions. There are different types of assessments: posture assessments, which look at the entire network; vendor and third-party assessments to make sure partners aren't a weak link; informal security audits, which regulators or customers may require. A typical Posture assessment follows some clear steps. First, identify threats and risk factors, then find which resources could be harmed, and create response and mitigation plans. These assessments should be done at least once a year, ideally every quarter or anytime you make major network changes. Formal audits, whether done internally or by accredited third parties, can catch things that you may have missed and help compliance requirements. Taking this broad approach keeps resources focused on the most critical risk and helps security planning stay sharp and effective. Once risks are identified, the next step is building strategies to strengthen security. Practical risk management utilizes testing, exercises, tools, and deception to enhance security posture. Risk management involves not just identifying and documenting risks, but also testing and improving our defenses. These activities include attack simulations, known as penetration testing, where ethical hackers simulate real-world attacks to identify and exploit vulnerabilities, thereby testing a system's resilience and response capabilities. Red team, blue team exercises are simulated adversarial engagement where a red team attacks and a blue team defends, improving detection, response, and overall defense readiness. Scanning tools are automated software solutions that detect vulnerabilities, misconfigurations, and compliance gaps across networks and systems. Then there are honeypots and honeynets. They are decoy systems designed to attract attackers, providing intelligence on their methods while diverting threats from production systems. These activities strengthen the overall security posture and provide actionable insights for ongoing risk reduction. Beyond digital threats, physical security is equally important. Physical security prevents unauthorized access to critical network infrastructure. Physical security is the foundation of network protection. Preventative measures keep unauthorized individuals away from critical infrastructure, like server rooms, wiring closets, and network hubs. Common methods include controlled entry points, secured by keycards or biometric systems, perimeter fences and gates with security personnel, and strict visitor registration procedures. By preventing visual access, we reduce the risk of tampering, theft, and accidental damage. Detection mechanisms quickly alert us to unauthorized physical access. Detection systems quickly identify and respond to unauthorized physical access attempts. These systems complement preventive controls by alerting security teams to unauthorized access attempts or asset tampering. Closed-circuit TV systems monitor sensitive areas for 24/7. Motion detectors sense movement in restricted spaces. Tamper detection sensors provide alerts when network racks or enclosures are tampered with. And asset tags enable tracking of critical devices. Modern AI-powered motion sensors improve accuracy and reduce false positive. Detection systems can also extend beyond intrusions to monitor environmental conditions like temperature and transport, providing comprehensive situational awareness for physical security teams. We also reduce risks by hardening devices against attacks. Device hardening reduces vulnerabilities and improves resilience against attacks. Device hardening is the process of reducing vulnerabilities by securing configurations and effectively managing software efficiently. Patch management involves multiple steps, including discovery, standardization, defense in depth, vulnerability reporting, implementation assessment, and risk mitigation. Using unique and complex administrative credentials prevents unauthorized privilege access, and secure SSH key management protects sensitive connections. Disabling unnecessary services and replacing insecure protocols, such as Telnet and FTP, with secure options like SSH, reduces the attack surface. Strong password policies, hashing for storage, and multi-factor authentication strengthen login security. Anti-malware software can be deployed at the host, server, network, and cloud levels for layered protection. Secure asset disposal, including certified wiping or destruction of drives, prevents data leakage from retired hardware. Challenges include patching delays, weak credential management, and improper handling of retired hardware. Addressing these challenges with consistent processes and audits creates a layered defense strategy for devices and network systems. However, clear security policies guide user behavior and reduce risk. User-focused security policies establish clear expectations and mitigate human risk factors. Security policies guide user behavior and clarify responsibilities. Policy goals include protecting data, ensuring compliance, and defining consequences for violations. Many organizations form a security committee to oversee policy development and implementation. BYOD, or Bring Your Own Device policies, manage risk associated with personal devices and require mobile device management controls and remote wipe capabilities, including user consent for monitoring and secure onboarding and offboarding processes. Acceptable use policies define how employees may use corporate IT resources and specify penalties for misuse. Non-disclosure agreements, or NDAs, protect confidential information shared internally or with third parties. Password policies establish requirements for password complexity and password rotation. Privileged user agreements outline additional responsibilities in monitoring for administrators or power users. Anti-malware policies assign responsibility to teams, ensuring that users maintain approved endpoint security tools and adhere to compliance requirements. Together, these policies reduce risk and promote a security-conscious culture. In conclusion, managing network risk is about more than just technology. It requires people, processes, and layered defenses working together. We've seen how human error, insider threats, malware, and sophisticated attackers all pose serious risk. By implementing user training, clear security policies, device hardening, and physical security, organizations can reduce vulnerabilities and improve their overall security posture. The key takeaway is that risk management is an ongoing process that demands continuous attention and improvement. Thank you for watching the recording, and these are the references that were used for this presentation. See you in the next video.